Great guys, today we'll see a piece of grammar and the objectives are to learn quantifiers and to learn two types of noun. Let's start by counting, okay? Let's count. We have 1 potato, 2 potatoes, 3 potatoes. And now, okay, some potatoes. We don't specify the number of potatoes, we say some potatoes. Okay? And then it's also possible to say a potato. Yes, this is a potato. Remember, one is the synonym of a or an. So we say a potato. Okay, then look at this picture. What is this? We say 1,500 rices. No, this is incorrect. So we say some rice. You see? So here we have two different nouns. We have the nouns. We can count the nouns. 1 potato, 2 potatoes, 3 potatoes, 4 potatoes, and continue. We count the nouns. We say count nouns or countable nouns. On the right you have rice, and it's very difficult to count rice, so we can't, it's not possible. We can't count rice. This noun is it's a non-count noun or uncountable noun. So we have two types of nouns, countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Okay. Let's continue with the word some. Now, some, it's a quantifier. Some is a quantifier. So let's now study quantifiers. Quantifiers, they are words that give you the idea of a number, of quantity. Quantifiers. No? Okay, we have any. Look at this, empty, any. Yeah, nothing is here. No? The mental representation is that we don't have. Okay, and then we have some. Okay, look at this. The mental representation is that you have some, no? A portion. Okay. So we use any and some with uncountable nouns. Okay, look at this. We also use any with countable nouns. The same idea. Empty, no? Nothing is here. No? The mental representation is empty. Then look at this. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, we have some potatoes. Okay, so we have these quantifiers. Now let's look at this exercise. Let's make sentences with any, some, and no. Positive sentence, and we have water, no? Yes. So there is water in the glass. There's some water in the glass. Okay, great. Now look at this. There isn't any water in the glass. And then there's no water in the glass, no? So you have two options here. For the second picture, you have two options. There isn't any water in the glass. There is no water in the glass. Okay, we use any with a negative. there isn't any water in the glass. Okay, and we use no, no in positive. There is no water in the glass. Okay, now let's look at countable nouns. Any, some, and no. Okay, so we have tomatoes in the basket. There are some tomatoes in the basket. The second example, in negative, there aren't any tomatoes in the basket. Or there are no tomatoes in the basket. So pay attention to the plural. Yes, because you can count tomatoes. You use the plural with there are some tomatoes, plural. There aren't any tomatoes. You use the plural. There are no tomatoes in the plural. Okay? Pay attention to the use of plural or singular with the quantifiers. Okay, now let's learn more quantifiers. Now, remember any, this is the mental representation of any. Then we have some, and then we have much. Look at this. No, we have more in this part. Okay, now countable. With countable nouns, you also use any, some, and many. Okay, but now let's learn how do we use much and many. Okay, look at this example. We use the quantifiers. We can use quantifiers any, some, a lot of, and much. So in the first, there's water in the glass. So we say there's a lot of water in the glass. And the second example, there's some water in the glass. Then the third example, there isn't water in the glass. There isn't much water in the glass. We use much with negative sentences. And the last example, there isn't any water in the glass. So pay attention to water. Now, water is an uncountable noun. It's an uncountable noun, so we only use water and is. There is a lot of water. We use the verb to be is and the singular because uncountable nouns don't have plural. Okay, now let's continue. Yes, so you can check positive or negative. And now let's continue with countable nouns. Example, tomatoes. So the first, there are a lot of tomatoes. There are some tomatoes in the basket. There aren't many tomatoes in the basket. And there aren't any tomatoes in the basket. Okay, that's all for today's lesson. You check here, positive or negative.